Hello everyone and welcome back to another book review. Today I'm going to be reviewing book 2 in a series that I read in one crazy whirlwind weekend that was a series that I've been putting off for a while and I have no idea why. So today I'm going to be reviewing Check Please, and this is book 2 in the series Sticks and Scones by Ngozi Ukazu. So this book is the second book in the series that begins with Check Please hashtag hockey. This one here, this is book 1 in the series, and after reading book 1 I was so obsessed and I needed book 2 that my sister actually let me borrow her personal copy, not even a library book, her personal copy that she bought in hardcover because I needed to read volume 2 so bad. It is a 2-book series, so if you read these 2 you will have read the whole series. And yeah, I'm still like emotionally detoxing from this series because this was great. This is easily the best 2 books that I have read this year, and I'm reading Haikyuu this year and I am loving Haikyuu. So the fact that something managed to get above Haikyuu already this year is absolutely crazy. This series, I'm going to assume if you're watching this review, I'm not going to spoil too much, but I'm going to assume you have at least passing familiarity or you don't care if I mention things that happen in this book. The story kind of follows it does follow Biddy, who is a hockey player on a college hockey team who falls in love with Jack. Jack is a very big star player on the team, and he winds up signing with the NHL, National Hockey League. The big one, he winds up signing with a big team, I guess. I'm not a hockey person, as you can tell, because he's so good after his college years. Biddy is in love with Jack, but he thinks that it's going to be unrequited. He believes Jack is straight, and yeah, he's just having to suppress these feelings. He's going through college, he's having a great time, but yeah, he just has this unrequited love that he's going to have to deal with because he's keeping that under wraps. Well, at the end of book 1, we realize that I think Jack doesn't realize this for the first 2 years, because this book covers the first 2 years of Biddy's college experience, and this one covers the second 2 years of his college experience. I think Jack just really didn't know how he felt about Biddy until he wound up graduating, and he realized that he actually maybe was in love with Biddy. So things are going well for Biddy, and he now has a boyfriend, and it's very cute, and I'm madly in love, and this is... Why did I take so long to read this series? My heart was melting the entire time. Through every single page of this book. This was amazing, wonderful, awesome. I have no adjectives to describe how I feel about this. This book is more focused. So in this book, they're together, they're a couple, and now they're having to navigate how to tell people about their relationships. They played on the hockey team for 2 years. They're going to have to tell their hockey teammates, or he has to tell his professional team, and he's going to tell the people that he's still playing with in college who played with Jack. What about their parents? How are they going to find out? What about the media? He's kind of a media sensation. Well, he's a player, so he gets some sensation. So at the beginning of this book, they're trying to keep things under wraps, but eventually they just want to come out and show everyone how much in love with each other that they are. And yeah, it is so sweet. This is, again, another 6 out of 5 read. This is such a good series. I have no idea what took me so long to read this. It was ridiculous. I'm in love. I just love this series. I love the 2 characters. I have to say the focus of this book is on Biddy, and between Biddy and Jack, I do slightly prefer Jack a little bit. It's not like I dislike Biddy at all. I just feel like I like Jack a little better out of the 2. So there's that aspect. That's just something that I prefer. The romance was just so sweet, so sweet, and that's coming from someone who is not a romance reader. I do not tend to enjoy romance. I tend to nitpick romance. I tend to shy away from romance. I'm very picky. I enjoy romance in a book, usually, as long as romance is not the main focus. Romance is kind of a subplot that's going on, and 2, I'm cheering for the couple. If there's a couple that I'm not cheering for, then I don't want the romance to happen, or I'm just annoyed that it's getting a lot of screen time, per se, in the book. In this series, I'm cheering for the couple. Romance is the main focus, and I was here for it, and I was so surprised. I surprised myself in the fact that I like this book so much. I think, so my aunt originally recommended this series to me, and I think my aunt was very wise in telling me this was not a romance-focused book, because if she had told me that, I would have probably taken a lot longer to get around to reading this series than I did, and I'm like 2 years late to the party anyways. So she left that out, I think intentionally, knowing that I might enjoy the series despite the romance, or I might need to give this series a try and realize that this was a romance story that I did enjoy. There are romance stories that I do enjoy, they're just far and few between, and this one definitely made the cut for sure. This, I think that's important to know in case you're listening to this review and you think, well, I don't really like romance, it's not really my cup of tea. I think you should give this one a try, because it did win over my old, cold, crusty heart that does not do romance and is very cynical towards romance in books, and this is very sweet, and I was here for it. I was here for the whole thing. I read it in one sitting, and I did cry, okay? And I'm not really a crier, and I'm definitely not a crier in romance books. I don't think a romance themed book has ever made me cry before, but I was crying last night in my reading chair. And as soon as I finished it, I went back and read this one again, and this will definitely be being purchased. And that is another huge note for me. I'm renting right now. I hate moving books. It is my least favorite part of moving, and I have to move every year, 2 years, whenever my lease is up. And I hate moving, so the fact that I'm willing to purchase these books and move them up and down a flight of stairs for another time shows me just how much I love this series. You should give this series a read. My one nitpick, which again, 6 out of 5 stars, this really doesn't knock it at all, just a personal preference. I'm not big on like pet names. I don't know if that's what you call it, like calling people honey or sweetheart. I don't do that. I don't like doing that. I don't like being called that. And just because I don't like that in real life, it's just, not that I don't like other people doing it, but I don't like it when people do that to me. And so when I see that in a book, I'm like, oh, I would not like to be called honey or sweetheart that often, like just call me by my name. But they like it, so in the book they like it, so they're gonna do that. That was just my one minor nitpick, because I'm like, oh, I don't like this in real life. So it's kind of a little for me, instead of being really sweet and romantic, which is how I think the author meant for it to come off. But that was just a minor nitpick. It does not at all change how I feel about this book. This is a great book, a great read. Read this series, purchase this series. Do not do what I did and wait super long to read this series. Do not think that you shouldn't give this a try because you're not normally a romance person. Give this a try, give it a read, and let me know what you think. I'd love to hear it. Obviously, there are going to be some people out there who just, romance is never for them and this isn't for them, but I think this is, and again, despite being aimed at teens, a book that will reach and connect with a very wide variety of people, and I think everyone should give it a read and give it a try. Let me know if you've read this book. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you have anything else similar to this book that you would like me to check out, because I'd love to read it. Other than that, thank you so much for sticking with me through my review, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.